Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss value windows function. So in past videos, we have seen aggregate windows function, ranking windows function. Now we are going to discuss value windows function. Okay. So what is value windows function and what are the types we have is one is lead, lag, and first value, and then lost value. So these are the commonly used value windows function which will completely deal with values. Okay, let me see what is meant by lead and lag. For this, I'm taking a dataset called PayPal. So I'm having my date, ID, type, and amount. So I'm able to see that 6, 7 each day in ascending order. Now I want to compare this with the past date. For example, so the 7th, I want to compare the 7016 with 7880. One value below it. So I want to bring this 7016 down to here, then only I can compare these two, right? So now you can achieve this using the lead and lag. If you see this, I am applying a lead of amount. I'm just giving over. Let's see what is the output it's coming as. So lead is in the sense it's leading up the one value up. If you see this 4649 is coming to the first row and followed by everything, and lost value is having null because it pushed all the values one up, so lost value will be null by default. You can also mention how many values it to be pushed upwards to lead upward. Here right now I have not mentioned how many values. You can also go for mentioning how many times you want to push forward. If I give 1, it will do the same as lead. See here, lost value is null. It leading it to the one row above, followed the each and everything is doing the same. If suppose instead of 1, I'm giving 2, if you see what is happening is, if you see here, this 2 value is getting pushed to the top, right? This lost value is getting null. If you see here, from the third row, it's coming to the first row here. So it's leading up 2 rows, correct? Yes or no? From this row, it started leading here, and then finally last 2 rows is getting null. I hope it's very simple. Lead is nothing but it lead the column based on the rows that you are mentioning. Here, if you are mentioning nothing, it normally it will lead the by 1. If you are particularly mentioning how much rows you would want to lead, so I'm giving 2 means it will lead by 2 rows. So this is the common use of lead. So now you can compare this, right? So if I giving this only one lead, now I can compare this with this by just subtracting these two, right? I'm just subtracting amount minus. So for example, I'm just taking the lead here as it is. So if I run this, so if you see here, I'm getting the subtraction value of this amount with the past one. So this is a very important function of lead to compare its previous values, or if in other way, if I want to compare, if you see here, it's leading here, it's comparing it preceding values. If I want to compare its succeeding values, let's say I want to compare this 4649 with 7016. I want in this order, means I want to go for lag. So lead, I hope you understood. Now the same thing, nothing is different. You can also go for lag. Select star from call prices. Okay. So instead of lead, you can go for lag. It is lagging the value of what? Amount. So now I'm just giving it's a Windows function. Always you want to pass over class. Now if I run this, what error it's showing? Oh, sorry. So the data set is PayPal. Yeah. So now if you see here, if you see, now it has started lagging by one row, correct? The 7016 is coming down, so I can able to compare these two here, right? So this is the function of lag. Lead means it will go up, lag means it will come down based on the number of rows you are passing. If you're not mentioning any rows here, by default it will be one row. If I'm mentioning I want to lag by 3 rows, automatically first 3 rows will be lagged, so it will start from here. Are able to see here, guys? This is the lat function. Now you can also compare these two. Let's say if you want to compare, I'm just giving one row. If I want to compare this with this, I can easily go by subtracting these two. So I'm able to say how much value that I'm increasing comparing to the past. correct? In seventh day, how much value I'm increasing? In eighth day, how much value I'm increasing compared to the seventh day? I can go with the help of this lag. Sir, you said it's a Windows function. We can also use partition by and order by, correct? Yes, it's simple and straightforward. We can use select star comma lag of amount. So let's say I'm using over partition by ID, then order by date from PayPal. Okay, this data set name. So if you see here, this is the ID number one. We grouped them and we are applying the function of lag. Are able to see here? We grouped the ID by using partition by. All the IDs will be grouped. Let's say 6, 7, and 8. 6 he deposited 7,016. 7 also he withdrawn something. 8 he deposited 2697. Now if I want to compare the second day with the first day, I can go for what? This is what I can go for. I can go for lag so that I can compare his seventh day with this sixth day. I can subtract these to get some buffers, correct? This is the way. If I want to compare in a reverse way, I can also use for lead. I can also go for lead. If I use lead means I can compare it. See, first day with the second day with the third day, correct? Now I can't compare with fourth day because ID 1 ended. Now it's going for ID number 2. Are able to see here? So this is the way we can go for the lead and lag. So what is meant by first value and the last value? I hope you understood the lead and lag. It's nothing but leading or lagging the column by certain rows. And also you can group using partition by, you can follow some orders using order by. This is the function of lead and lag. Now coming to first value and the last value. So what is this first value saying is select star comma. I'm just using first value of the column amount. It's a Windows function. I'm just giving order class from PayPal. If you see here, it's printing the topmost value, which is the first value of the record, and it is distributing to all the rows. Are you able to see here, everyone? Yes or no? It's taking the topmost value and it is giving. Like the way if you want to take a topmost value, or else if you want to take a lost value in the data, if you pass first or lost, if you see here, the first value it's returning the first answer of the records. If I give lost value means, if you see here, why it's printing 6672 means because that's the lost value, it's here, right? So I hope you understood the first and last. Now if you want to group someone and you want to see what is his first transaction or first amount happened is, you can go for over partition by, you can go for partition by because we are grouping this, and then partition by ID followed by what? So we want to group them and we want a first value of the amount. Yeah, we can use this same for here also. If I run this, if you see here, this ID number one, the first transaction is 7,016. It's populated to all the rows. The last transaction is 2697. It's transacted to all the rows. I hope you're able to understand the first value and the last value, which is commonly used. So this is the very simple and very straightforward window function, which is lead, lag, first value and last value. So lead, lag, what is the common usage of lead and lag is? For example, I will say a simple example. So we have, so this is today's timings, correct? Okay. So let's say this is 2 days. I'm just using this. Okay. We have multiple dates. Okay. So let's say this is the amount. So like this, we have multiple amounts, correct? So now I want to compare how much amount I increased from yesterday, from 9 to 10, how much amount I increased means. So what function you want to use? You want to go for lag, right? You want to lag it by 1 day. So by default, it will give null here if you apply a lag function. So now you can easily compare coming to 10, how much day, like how much is the amount you improved compared to the past day is how much? 22 days. Are you able to see here? All of you able to see this? how much is my amount increased compared to my sales increased from compared to the last date. I can easily identify this trend using what function? Lag. Okay, sir, when I want to use lead, suppose if my date is properly in ascending order, in some cases if your date is in descending, what you can go for? What you can go for, guys? Tell me. If my date is in descending order, let's say, now I want to do the same means what I can do. I want to compare my today's sale with yesterday's sale means you want to apply a lead function. So this 14, 13, 12, 11. Now I want to compare this sale with the past day. I want to go for what function? What function, guys, I want to go for? It's a lead function. So this is lag. Here I can use a scenario called lag. Here I can use a scenario called lead, right? Guys, are not able to understand. This is a very common use case of lead and lag. I hope you understood this. On a quick recap, lead and lag or lead lag first value and last value are Windows function. Lead and lag is just leading the column by certain rows by creating a new column like using a function. What is the use of this means to understand how much improved and how much improvement happened. First value, last value is nothing but which will give the first and last records by using like you can apply partition by and order by to get the first value and the last value. That's why this first value and last value are used. I hope you understood this value Windows function. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks everyone.